Hello and welcome to today's episode of Awak. I'm your host Bano.
And I'm your host Dunia.
I want to go back to the conversation we had from before about the dating. So, as a girl from this culture and also from a religion called the Muslim or Islamic,
Called the Muslim?
The Islamic. How do you think?
Have you seen that one? What is it? We're going to Islam.
I don't know.
Have you seen it?
Oh
It's
my
like,
God.
I don't know. I think it's from some Real Housewives series where they have to go on a vacation and they're going to Dubai. So she's giving a hint. One of the girls, it's like a surprise, and she's like, "Let me give you a hint," and she puts her scarf on her head, and then one of the girls goes, "Oh, we're going to Islam."
I love it.
We're going to Islam.
This is why I watch these shows. They're so
I
good,
love-
and it helps to relax.
Yeah. Sorry, I would cut your question off.
Yeah, but I was thinking, like, how would you navigate dating in this world? How would you make yourselves happy, your parents happy? I mean, like, what do you think is actually the ideal situation here?
Well, the ideal situation for me is finding a partner who is Muslim first and foremost, and that is also what makes my parents happy by default.
But would you take someone who was just in prison and is a Muslim?
No.
We're not judging
No.
anybody here, but
For me, it's important that he is a Muslim. That's the first thing, and then everything else has to align with my wishes of what I want in a man.
wow, the wishes is a list, huh? I know
us.
of people who make list of their future partner.
Yeah, just like Indian matchmaking.
But I think she was so harsh, that lady. Nothing went back. But I think it's so stupid because if you make that list, you are going to change year for year. You're not going to be the same person. And as you date, your criteria are also going to change. I mean, like, maybe you know what? I used to date people as if it was a trend. I used to be like, okay, now I want to have someone that does this for a living. I want to date a physicist. I just watched Chernobyl documentaries. Now I want to do this. And then the next second you find yourself like, now I have been a part of the Kurdish community for a while. I think this is fun. Maybe I should find myself someone from the Kurdish community. And then after a while you figure out like, maybe I should go for some more in-depth things. And then I should go more for like an honest, loyal person.
Yeah.
And then you kind of like, I think, change according to where you are in your life. Or maybe you get inspired by your friends, boyfriends, or husband or whatever. You're like, maybe someone like this. The next day you go to work, you're like, oh, my senior doctor seems like a good father. Maybe I should find someone like that. So how does that list even make sense?
But it depends like what the list is. It's not a superficial list. It's not I need him to be 5 feet. I don't even know how much that is in centimeters. I need him to be 185.
You love them tall.
I love them tall.
Yeah. And it's funny because the Middle East are very short people. So how are you finding? And you know, most of the girls are like a very nice petite actually length.
Yeah.
So why do they want someone that's 20 centimeters taller?
Just, I'm not.
It's
trying
because
to,
it's
I'm
rare,
trying to
don't you think so? It's so rare in the Middle East to see tall men, so that's maybe the thing.
Yeah, I was trying to be politically correct, but I don't know. It's like it gives the sense of protection, I think, that
Do you
a
think
man is tall.
you would like your partner to show emotions like such in a way that they would cry in front of you, or are you this traditional woman? No?
I'm just kidding.
Now we're trying to be positive. But because we come, like, listen, no harsh feeling towards anybody out there. Everybody should be able to do. You told me you teach your brothers to cry. That it's important. But I just think like we come from a background where we are taught for a very long time that this is the female role and this is the male role. So there is no bad feelings here. We automatically, I've never dated someone from our culture that wasn't acting according to the role set for them.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to act different because this is the way they were taught for so long. They couldn't see themselves different.
I think for me, I appreciate a man who is in tune with his emotions within reason. It's also applied to females. I also think, voice your opinions, voice your feelings, validate them, but, within reason.
Do you remember we talked about this thing about the mama boys in our culture? Please tell me. You had this amazing explanation of why they turn into mama boys. And I want you to explain also what that kind of a mama boy is, because they are everywhere. I've seen them so much, and my friends have been around these men for so long. I myself have also been around these men, which is crazy.
So with these mama boys, that women often have trouble with their in-laws or their mother-in-laws, not really with the father-in-law. It's usually the mother-in-law. And it's because these women marry men who are maybe not necessarily horrible, but there's no romantic relationship, no romantic chemistry. They're not feeding into what a woman craves, which is love. And that could be in an abusive sense. It could also be in the sense that they got married out of, necessity. They had to get married. They need to flee a country, and then they just stuck with that partner for the rest of their life. So they have this void to fill. They have this lack of love. They give birth to a son. This is a man in their life now. Maybe he can fill the void in a very Freudian way, but not really. It's not that. It gets a bit Freudian, because when this mama's boy who gets, everything in the world, usually this mama's boy will have sisters who are overlooked. Sisters.
I love this in depth.
It is.
Reflection.
I have seen so many scenarios of this that by now I can publish a paper about it.
The book is coming.
The book is coming about mama boys. So usually they will have sisters who are overlooked, and usually these men are so useless because they have not learned a single thing in life, because everything has been spoon-fed to them. It's the same guys that I went to medical school with who would show up with a Spider-Man lunchbox packed by their mom while they're med students. This is the same type of boys. Imagine I was packing my own lunch in middle school, like when I was in 4th, 5th grade. I was packing.
The hate is strong.
I swear, like, where is the independence? They know nothing. They still probably live at home.
Is it the lunchbox?
Those lunchboxes, if you ever meet anyone I have talked to ever, you will know the lunchbox story. I've been furious telling it to the whole world that there are grown men with children's lunchboxes packed by their moms. I've seen women where they teach their daughters to be super independent, to do everything, pursue a career, do this. And then they have sons who just lie there, do nothing, come home.
Habibi.
Yeah, Habibi, he's tired. He needs to eat. And while the girl has been working a full-time job,
Habibi has been lying there for a month.
And then they're like, but doesn't he need to work? No, he's a boy. Get him some food. And you're like, what is happening? The amount of times I've witnessed this, girls being overlooked by their brothers who are absolutely useless. Mothers who have talked about their sons in a way that you think, oh, this must be a Greek god or something, and it's just this crusty ass. And you're like, what is this delusion?
What is their names usually? I want the name.
These boys, they fill that love void in the woman. Because, of course, the boy loves his mother. It's an unconditional love. And she, feeds him with everything emotionally, gives him food, cleans his clothes, cleans his bedroom, which I also find odd that an adult man will have his bedroom cleaned by his mother. It's like he has a full-time maid. And so all in all, when this boy then goes off, tries to live his own life, meets a girl, the mother will be furious. How can she take away my great love? She has no other great love. It's not her daughters. This mother will compete with her daughters.
I love this. Yeah, go on. This is a fucking drama series. This is the manuscript for it.
But this is the reality that a lot of people face. The mother will compete with their daughters, tell them they look ugly in the clothes they're wearing, tell them, why would a man love you looking like that? Like, I've heard these things being told to people.
This is scary.
It's very scary. And then this boy goes off, marries a girl, and, poor boy, he probably is a good person, but he's just been conditioned to be very, in his mother's possession all the time. He marries this girl. The mother gets super weird about it. She says yes, of course, because why would she say no? That's even weirder. She can't say no. So she agrees to all of this. There is a wedding, but the mother-in-law will do everything to ruin that bride. And it's the weirdest, craziest stories you will ever hear is from what a mother-in-law does to her daughter-in-law.
this is why back in the days, a lot in the culture we had, but maybe you say back in the days it wasn't that crazy as now.
Yeah,
But it
back
seems
in the
to be,
back
but I
in the
don't know.
days, I think it was not so much for filling a love void. I think it was just out of pure boredom that they had all. No, I really, I genuinely think so.
Yeah.
I think the psychological aspect of it is much worse in these modern days, because I think it comes from a lack of love. Because if you have love from your partner, if you have love equally to your children, if you are content with what you have and who you are, you do not seek that out in your children. In a almost like, what is it called?
syndrome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
München by proxy syndrome, where you like make the child sick so it needs you, kind of thing. And it's getting a bit,
But I've also seen situations where the boy does work, I don't know, whatever they do, but the mom like there's no one that critically gives them constructive critics. They can date whomever they want and do whatever they want, but there's no consequences if they make a mistake, because the mom would always be like, oh, but you're my son, and she's just whatever.
Yeah, it's
and
the same.
it's like super crazy. And then at the end of the day, there's also these boys that are like, I can do whatever I want, because the girl can't be that free as the boy can. And we're talking any kind of situation with work, with dating, with choosing whatever. And then at the end of the day, especially in dating, they would be going around doing exactly as they want, and then they fuck the girl over.
Yeah, they will
and
be
then
the
they
biggest
tell her like,
fuckboys.
but at the end of the day, but you know what, I need to actually listen to my mom, because my mom found this girl that she thinks is good for me, and I love my mom, so I'll listen to my mom.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, what the heck? From one girl to another girl? How could she do that?
Yeah.
I mean, shouldn't she be like... But it's crazy. You really cannot... But this is an interesting way of you analyzing the situation, because it makes sense too.
Right.
Because it's this thing where there must be a missed link. Something has happened so that this lady turns into that. And there is a reason why there is like so many bad stories about Hamaya, she's so horrible. Or like there are some situations where I think there's also a generation gap there. But also, in the Middle Eastern country, we really love to meddle into each other's life. And if you have a mother-in-law like that wants to ruin you because her son is like, you're taking away her best friend from her, then she would, if she does not choose to ruin you because you're easy to be controlled, she will be living in your relationship. You will be the third wheel. She will tell you when to have children, when to have sex, when to eat, when to pee, when to poop.
Nagging you all
Imagine
the time.
that, like, if you go out and try to buy a gift for your husband, she's like, no, he wouldn't like that. I know that because he's my son.
Oh,
You wouldn't know.
Disgusting.
Stuff like that must be so hurtful. And imagine if you're a young girl in the age of 20s and then getting ruined by a grown-up that does these stuff to you. How will you evolve?
You will not. You will not evolve. That's why it's such sick behavior. And it's like these women that are so protective over their sons, and it's not even protective, because what are you protecting them from? These women are usually also very sexist in their mindset. It will be the same mothers that do not allow their daughters to go out, that do not allow their daughters to speak with men, that allow their sons to be fuckboys openly because he's a guy, he can't control it. They would have they have this mindset. So whenever that guy finds a girl who cannot be like her, which is super sexist view of women, which is stay in the kitchen, cook for him, clean for him, kiss his feet, do everything for him, they will, have war against their village or something. I don't know. They will they will be very furious, which is a deep, deep rooted psychological issue they have because of the lack of love they have never received.
Creates so much drama and hatred. Can you imagine that bride will be so hateful towards this person, so vengeful that she would want to, like, I don't know, do whatever to hurt. And this is unhealthy for the family dynamic. Like, there will be, I'm pretty sure if there is, like, at some point a person will reach their wit's end. And even if she's 20 and stupid or 20 and like naive, that's the right word, when she gets older, she will fight back. And there will be ways to do that. And if she's smart enough after a few years, she will know what the weak link is. She's going to hurt the mother-in-law through him.
Yeah. And
and she'll
Like-
punish him in order to punish her.
Definitely.
We definitely made a drama show right now.
We
Hello,
did.
call us for a manuscript.
NBC, we have a new series for you.